In today's video, I am super excited to share with you all about the heart-centered approach to selling. And I think you might be a little surprised with the process that I take you through. So make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end. Hey, it's Tom Jacobs here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I love helping solopreneurs and solo practitioners increase their sales, and selling from the heart is my passion. So let's watch this video. Now, I'm getting a lot of comments and questions on social media and when I do my speaking engagements about what is heart-centered approach to selling. And I think of it as selling with the prospect's intentions at your heart as the practitioner. And it's almost like you're putting yourself in the shoes of the prospect and trying to understand what the problems are that they're going through so that you can ultimately help them if you can. And it's through that passion that you have and the compassion that you have for the other person that comes through as very loving and approachable, and ultimately helps that prospect solve the problem and go into your program. Now, I totally believe that heart-centered selling is the future of selling in the health and wellness industry. And the reason being is we have this shift in psychology of people that are online and in the world that are trying to get healthy and fit. And they're very sensitive to the prospects of being sold to something or being scammed. And when you sell from your heart, you are now making a connection with that prospect that is all about them and solving their problem. And when you come to the sales meeting with that approach, the prospect is not going to feel like you're pushing something onto them, but rather you're trying to figure out, can I help you in the first place? And if I can, what is the solution? And that's the future of selling in the health and wellness industry. One of my other clients, Kim, she was really struggling with having that conversation with the prospect and not kind of going all over the place and educating the prospect while on the sales conversation. And that's actually one of the biggest traps that health and wellness practitioners have, is that when now you're asking what the problems are, now the prospect is telling you the problem, now you want to fix it right there during the sales conversation. And that's absolutely the wrong time to do it. And once I worked with Kim on, let's build up those questions, build up the tension, and now let's solve the problem by describing what the process is of working with you, her sales dramatically increased because now she was able to stay focused, keep the prospect in that state of, oh, I need to make this change, I need to make it now, versus always trying to solve the problems along the way. And then the prospect is like, okay, I got what I needed and I'm gone, right? And they don't sign up for the program and ultimately they don't get the help that they need. So how do you measure success when it comes to the heart-centered approach to selling? It's still sales. The principles of selling never change, whether it's heart-centered selling or you're selling a car or selling a house or selling widgets. The numbers are what the numbers are. So how many prospects are you talking to? So the numbers are really important for measuring your success. And I always like to look at all the different buckets of conversion points. So you have a new lead. Great. Did they book an appointment? That's a conversion point. Did they show up for their appointment? That's the next conversion point. And then while they're on their appointment, did they actually purchase the program? Those are the three key numbers to keep track of and seeing how your conversions are moving along in that pipeline. So now you can look at, where am I lacking? And then you can focus on that aspect and get better at it. Now, a lot of introverts, and I am one of you, and heart-centered salespeople, which are pretty much one and the same. So most heart-centered salespeople are introverted as well. And one thing that really I struggle with as being introverted is that whole rapport building. I just want to get right to the brass tacks and get into the sales conversation. But as a heart-centered salesperson and talking to somebody that has a problem and a very personal problem, it's very, very important that you establish that rapport from the very first moment that that prospect knows about you. And that would be all the way back to your advertisements, all the way through to when they're now talking with you, because they need to feel comfortable sharing some very personal information with you. And you can only create that trust with a really good rapport. Now, when you start getting into the heart-centered approach to selling, you might be thinking, well, what's the first step? How do I do it? And really, in any sales conversation, especially the heart-centered sales approach, there's 5 steps and then a 6th optional step to the sales process. The first is rapport building. That's where you're building trust and allowing that prospect to open up to you. The second is your questioning. And I have a really great framework for developing those questions. It's called the what, why framework to get to the root of the problem of the prospect. So now you know what it is. So then when you go into the third step, which is mirroring, and very important because it shows that you're actively listening. Once you understand exactly what the problem is, the prospect agrees with you that you understand what it is. Now you can present your solution. And then the last step is close the deal. If you screw all that up, you got to do step number 6, which is handle some objections. So at this point, you're probably going, wow, this sounds really amazing. I have no idea how to get started. Like, where do I go? And what I want to offer all viewers of this video and all my other previous videos is a free impact call. And now on that call, we'll discuss kind of where you are with your sales and your practice, and then develop an action plan to get you better at making sales. Whether that's working with me or not, it's either way is fine. I just love talking with people and understanding where they're at because it helps me do my research as well. So let's jump on a call. You can click that link down below and we'll talk about your sales. And if it makes sense, then maybe we'll start working together and see your sales double in the next 6 months. All right. Well,